Hello, young animal enthusiasts. I am Donald Decoff, a zoologist and field research zoologist. Um, Today I want to show you what you have to do to become a zoologist, what you want to work in this field. If you love animals and wildlife, if you have realistic interests, you like to work with your hands and see what comes out of it, if you have interests that are investigative and you like to learn and study and compile knowledge, then zoology is a good field for you. You can do outdoor activities, indoor activities. Now, when I was starting to try to find out what I had to do to be able to work in this field, I came back to Nature Wildlife Refuge, and they told me that you had to go to a zoology field. So biology, zoology was my path. I went to Valencia for 2 years and got my associates in arts in general studies. I continued on to UFC, or UCF, I'm sorry, and got my bachelor's in biology, zoology, and I did an internship for Back to Nature Wildlife Refuge. Now we're going to go out into the field later, and I'll talk about how you work in the field, the pros and cons of that, and how you have to stay positive. It's one of my personal strengths, positive. When you're out there, you're not always going to work the way you want it to work. You have to be patient and see when it happens. Anyways, let's go inside here and have a look at some animals. All right, here we're about to enter the sanctuary for Back to Nature Wildlife Refuge. This really takes me back. It takes me back to Valencia when I started going to school, and I was in the new student experience class, and wanting to make this my goal, and just had to get pushed through it. Some of them things were hard, and it really taught you about yourself. I really were having some problems with math, but I learned about the Cornell note-taking method, and it helped me organize my notes and keep them more clear so I could process them. I found out that I was a crisis-making procrastinator. I just had to wait until the last minute to get things done, so what I had to do is I had to start rewarding myself for getting done early on things, because if you want to do it, you can do it. In experience, you learned many of the tools inside yourself to do these things, like your main strengths. Again, I've said already, positivity was one of my strengths. I have to stay positive and know that you can do it. Input, I love to gather information, like do you know how to tell the difference between sexes in a scorpion? They're combs underneath their body. If they come out farther than their body, they're male. If they're short as their body, they're female. Woo, I love to work with other people. I love to make them feel good. The developer, I love to work with other people. You're going to work with other people in projects like these, and it's nice to have a good work environment where everybody gets along and they're productive. I learned other student tactics, like I learned that my learning style is visual and tactile. I learned well off of visual aids and using my hands to work with the things. Math, there's a lot of math in the science, and I'm not very good at it, so I spent a lot of time at the Math and Science Depot. This class also helped you look into yourself and figure out if what you think you want is really what you want. Does the job that you're trying to pursue match your strengths, values, interest? And yes, like I said before, my realist interests, I like to work with hands and stuff. My achievement values are rewarded every time that I help an animal come back to health, or I even get to set up an enclosure for them to keep them safe. When I'm out in the field studying and I see that their reproductive rates are going up higher and that they're thriving and that they're healthy, these are rewarding to me. Of course, you have to have a financial plan to be able to achieve this. You just don't go to school for free. 2 years at Valencia, about $10,000. 2 years at UCF was about $13,000, but luckily I didn't have to pay for any of it. Being an ex-veteran, they helped pay for some of my classes. FAFSA paid for it. I sought as many scholarships as I could get my hands on. I took student loans and paid them back with whatever other income that I could establish. All right, and but after you get through all this and you get established, and usually you pull grants at a median pay rate for about $62,000 a year for salary. Entry level assistant field researchers probably get about $20,000 to $30,000 a year themselves. I had to meet with my student advisors frequently, make sure that I was checking off everything that I needed on my career catalog. Career interview that, you know, I actually fell behind on and missed, but if I had done it, I would have done here in Gatorland. Now, actually, like I said, I'm a field researcher right now, and that's working towards a personal goal of mine. You know, my girlfriend has stuck through me through all this schooling and supported me financially, emotionally, mentally, and I really want to reward her by taking her to Scotland. So I wooed my way into a grant to study the red stags in Scotland. It'll be a working vacation, but still a dream come true. All right, are we ready to walk through? As you see here, we have descriptions of their animals and their habitat. Here's a gray squirrel here. He's a friendly guy. What's up, buddy? He's shunning me. Now, these weren't here when I was here doing my internship. But boy, they look fun. Here's the local resident lemurs. You know, they like to move it. Now, there was many other things that I had to do just than getting a bachelor's degree in zoology. There were certain classes that I had to get passed by my advisors to be able to go into. So, you know, I couldn't just go into them. I had to get somebody's okay, and they had to make sure I was up to par before I could go. There was licenses, visas, immunizations for working across the seas. I had to get my venomous reptile license because I wanted to keep snakes. You know, I don't have my albino zoo and rescue yet, but I have to prepare for it, right? All right, this is an African spurred tortoise. What is up, bud? This is an emu. This one seems pretty cool, but you know, you wouldn't want to get too close to it. They can be pretty aggressive. They have powerful legs with talons on them that can shred you apart. This is almost exactly what I want to do when I retire. You know, right now, I like being out in the field, I like studying animals, but when I get older and I want to be more settled, I want to do something like this. Now, it's not all fun and games out in the field. I have to spend weeks out there camping sometimes, keep odd hours, and you got to stay positive, like I always say, because you can spend some time out there and not get any footage, not have any study thing. You might spend days out there and get nothing. You know, here we rehabilitate animals. You have to have special licenses for this. For any native animals in the country or an area that's native, you can't keep them as pets. So if they can be rehabilitated and let back out in the wild, it's a necessity. It has to. Now, with albino animals, they lack the camouflage that other animals have, and they are more sensitive to sun and are damaged and have poorer eyesight. So they are considered endangered, and you can keep them protected because they're more than likely going to die out there in the wild anyways. Okay, well, I think that's about the end of our tour back to Nature Wildlife Refuge. Okay, and it's time for me to go to work, shall we? Okay, well, I hope you've got a clear path, that I've set a clear pathway for anybody else that's interested in this profession. I hope I haven't made it too daunting or intimidating, but you know, if you can make it through all that, it's very rewarding. I've got a grant to study bats in the local area to try to keep down the mosquito population. I'm going to go set up sonar emitters, draw them into the area, and the night cameras and stuff like that. It's going to be a couple long nights. It's going to mess up my schedule doing this whole nocturnal thing, but I'm going to love it. All right, have a good day.